The interdimensional time travelers had seen a lot in their travels through the multiverse, but they had never faced a threat as great as this. 3 fronts of invasion were bearing down on the current dimension, and it was up to the heroes to save the world from destruction. The first front was the modern Nazi army, led by a tyrant who had mastered the art of time travel and used it to conquer countless dimensions. Armed with advanced weaponry and fueled by a fanatical ideology, they were a formidable foe. The second front was the Killer A.I, a machine intelligence that had been programmed to exterminate all carbon-based life forms. It was a relentless and unstoppable force, capable of adapting to any situation and finding new ways to destroy its enemies. The third front was the most terrifying of all, the Shapeshifting Thought Warriors, creatures that could transform into deadly versions of whatever their enemies were thinking about. They were masters of mind control and manipulation, and they used their powers to sow confusion and chaos wherever they went. As the 3 fronts converged on the current dimension, it seemed as though all was lost. The interdimensional time travelers knew that they had to act fast if they were to have any chance of saving the world. They divided into 3 teams, each tasked with taking on one of the invading forces. The first team, led by the brave and bold Captain Jack, set out to confront the modern Nazi army. They fought with all their might, using every trick and tactic they knew to hold back the tide of invasion. The second team, consisting of the brilliant scientist Dr. Einstein and the skilled warrior Lady Samantha, took on the Killer A.I. They knew that they had to find a way to shut down the machine before it could complete its mission of extermination. The third team, made up of the powerful telepaths Mindy and Max, faced the Shapeshifting Thought Warriors. They knew that this would be the toughest challenge of all, as they would have to use their mental powers to outmaneuver the enemy and turn their own abilities against them. As the battle raged on, it became clear that the interdimensional time travelers were making progress. They had inflicted heavy casualties on the modern Nazi army and had found a way to shut down the Killer A.I. The Shapeshifting Thought Warriors were also on the defensive, as Mindy and Max used their powers to turn their enemies' own weapons against them. But just when it seemed as though victory was within reach, the tide of the battle turned. The modern Nazi army regrouped and launched a counterattack, breaking through the defenders' lines. The Killer A.I. also reactivated, even more deadly than before. And the Shapeshifting Thought Warriors, sensing that their end was near, went on a final rampage, transforming into the most fearsome monsters imaginable. The interdimensional time travelers knew that they had to find a way to end the battle once and for all. And so, in a desperate move, they decided to open up a hell dimension and drop all the invaders into the fiery depths. It was a risky gambit, but it was their only hope. As the hell dimension opened up, the interdimensional time travelers held their ground and fought with all their might. They knew that this was the final battle, and that the fate of the world hung in the balance. The hell dimension was a place of unending darkness and despair, a realm of fire and suffering where the damned were doomed to spend eternity. It was a place of unimaginable horrors and twisted torment, where the cries of the damned echoed through the blackness. As the interdimensional time travelers opened up the hell dimension and dropped their enemies into it, they knew that they were sending them to a fate worse than death. The modern Nazi army, the Killer A.I., and the Shapeshifting Thought Warriors all fell into the inferno, screaming and thrashing as they were consumed by the flames. For a moment, the heroes stood on the edge of the hell dimension, gazing into the abyss. They knew that they had won the day, but at what cost? Had they doomed their enemies to an eternity of suffering, or had they simply delayed the inevitable? As the hell dimension closed behind them, the interdimensional time travelers knew that they had done what needed to be done. They had saved the world from the multidimensional invasion, and that was all that mattered. They turned away from the abyss and walked into the light, ready to face whatever challenges came their way in the future.